All right, all right. What's up, Grant? Can you hear me just fine, LA?
Sorry, I stepped away for a second. Did you say, could I hear you here fine?
Could you hear me just fine?
On Telegram?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, what about YouTube?
I haven't started this. Is it live there now?
Yeah, it should be. I got the notification on another device, so.
Okay, one sec.
Okay. Okay, this is just a test. I'm testing YouTube. Hello, LA. How are you doing? How's the EMP community doing tonight? Just a test. I'm testing YouTube.
Ooh, it's nice and loud tonight.
Okay, good. I have it quite cranked, so hopefully it's not too loud.
It's like just as loud as your Telegram voice. Like it's perfect.
Okay.
Like I have it on full blast. Someone could easily turn it down a bit.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So we're just a little bit early. I just wanted to make sure that's the settings were fine, everything was working. Yes, just a test it was, but we're gonna keep going, rocking and rolling. We're gonna peggy dance. People just need to understand, most important thing in this ecosystem, protecting the peg by being responsible with that EMP. And we'll just let people kind of pile in over the next few minutes or whatever. So don't mind a little moment of quietness, or I might just keep talking too. I can just keep talking and talking and talking. Ooh, that's what I'll do. Silly me, I'll pull it up on another device. Don Mack, how are you doing tonight? I know you're listening.
I just realized I forgot to post last night's recording, so I'm gonna do that now.
Uh-oh, that's okay. All this is just a work in progress. It's a great thing about crypto. You get to learn fast. Lots to learn. Fast pace. And remember, if the stream video isn't great, just follow along on your device when we talk about a particular section. And this really is just more or less going to be a let's just have a kind of a community question and answer about certain parts of the ecosystem. I'm sure the people that have been here are familiar with everything here. If there's anyone new, feel free to pop on, ask your questions. The only bad question is that unasked question that can never be answered. So remember that. Hey Joe, how's it going tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. You hear me okay?
Yeah, your voice is really good. It's that new setup you got.
Other than my nasally resonance.
Yeah, you said you had a sore throat though when I talked to you earlier. It sounds like you still have it a bit, so.
Yeah, I feel okay. I feel okay, but I got something.
Yep.
Probably something in Mexico. Yep. Or on the airplane.
Yeah, it's those darn airplane peanuts. You still got one of those lodged in your throat.
Absolutely. I know you guys feel bad for me, right? Getting sick on vacation.
No, I don't think anybody wants anybody else to be sick or wishes bad things for them. So it would be silly. Hey, what about ETH? What about ETH pumping? Oh, sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No. Go right ahead.
What are everybody's thoughts about that ETH pump in action? Anybody got any ideas?
I haven't kept up with the news, but yeah, I did see that thing taken off. What's the latest and greatest going on in crypto?
EMP, baby, the detonator. Detonator V2. I think that's what everybody's talking about in the DeFi chat rooms, at least everyone I go to. So, and so I always thought like I think I said it yesterday, but I always thought the detonator was the best contract in DeFi. Now I really I think everybody feels that same way if they've heard about it and experienced it, and I know the people that are very savvy DeFi players are very excited about it, just because of the opportunity that it presents, and not only that, it's the ecosystem that it's attached to, the community that it's attached to. Those are all things that make it a very attractive vehicle for a lot of people that aren't in this ecosystem yet, because wherever we go to do AMAs, when I'm with AJ, is really the number one thing that people always talk about, the education level of the community. And really, I think, we talk about that a lot, and it I don't know that other protocols have really kind of latched onto that and understand like how important it is to, have an educated community that understands that they're, owners in that ecosystem, and all those actions that they do, if they're bad actions, affect the ecosystem negatively and then end up obviously affecting, their investment negatively. So the great thing here is I think the vast majority of people understand that and know that, and the people that don't, it's just an opportunity for us to, show these people what we've learned since we've been here and help them help themselves, and obviously help us in the process by building, the ecosystem, and then having them, build their knowledge base so that when that next person comes in, they're the ones that is able to educate those new people coming in, and that's kind of what we call the compounding the educators around here. So a lot of talk about compounding here, and it's not just numbers.
Yeah, definitely. That's we have a lot of factors that separate us from other protocols, and I think it was Olive Garden that coined the phrase, "When you're here, you're family," and that's kind of
Yep.
how we are. Everyone treats each other with respect for the most part, and like you said, it's not just being nice. We've actually got people in here that really know a lot, and not just calculations or game or strategies. It's really everyone brings something to the table, and it's all those different aspects that really make us a force to be reckoned with in the DeFi space. So people may try to replicate the detonator. They may try to replicate, the algo project and nodes, but we're coming at DeFi with so many different facets, and all of them are just knocking it out of the park. And each time they think they're catching up, we come out with a new enhancement, a new twist, that we're just always innovating because we have so many bright brains in here that just around the clock think about, hey, how do we make this better? How do we, help people on ramp to get up to speed quickly? And what do we do collectively to move that peg in the right direction? And we see it all coming together.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just look at obviously we'll primarily talk about the Detonator V2, because I think that's the thing that people most want to hear about and or have questions about. I would imagine, but if you have other questions, feel free to chime in. And but with the Detonator V2, when I look at that, I was just so excited to see what was sitting there kind of in front of us when we were talking about it. But because we, collectively as the army and community members, we had a gigantic list of everything that anybody ever said about the detonator, and things, kind of a detonator wish list, if you will. And when that was being talked about and worked on, that list was always right there in front of us to say, okay, look, this is something that is really on the minds of people, to get inside a potential future detonator, because we didn't know really that we that this was going to get put out, but we wanted to do the diligence and have that responsibility towards the community, because that's what they were asking for. So there was a lot of discussion about like how to implement this and things that could be done. And here's the really kind of the crazy thing, because there are so many parts to Detonator. Jake had to really literally work his coding magic to get all the ideas into one package, if you will. And I mean, clearly he did an amazing job. All the rest of the people working on the UI, the background of it. Amazing job to get it all working. And for anybody that was on the live stream last night, we obviously saw that the UI went down for a few minutes. But, you know, Jake, lead developer, right there, total legend, back, you know, right on it, telling everybody that there was a small issue. And it would be fixed in 8 minutes. It was fixed in 8 minutes. It was back up, ready to go. So nobody could FUD and say, oh, these guys can't put out a product that works. They, you know, let's just talk about the migration. The migration, you know, AJ's timeline was a few hours. It happened a lot quicker than that, which would show you the level of organization that Jake has and the skill and the experience to migrate everybody's funds safely to a new secure contract connected to, you know, this beautiful new UI as well. So shout out to everybody that works in the back in every shape, form, or fashion in the world. Regardless of what, you know, if you're working at a store or if it's your mom working at home, you know, in the laundry room. So shout out to everybody that works in the back and is kind of the unsung hero of the world. So, you know, like that being said, when, you know, we had that list always in front of us about like what people wanted. And true, there are a couple things that, you know, still need to be looked at a little bit further, but ultimately, you know, like in V2 here, we looked at how do we please the most people, but also, you know, the most important thing really is how do we make, you know, the contract even better. And I definitely think with all of the people's input and brain power on it, that was really accomplished. And I think that's why we're seeing such a high excitement level, because there's really features in here for everyone. And don't tell AJ, but I'll drop some alpha. There is a new contract being, you know, kind of toyed with that is really going to supercharge this ecosystem. So that's my little alpha drop for the day. But I am really just incredibly excited to, you know, be able to contribute here. And the great thing about this ecosystem, and we talk about this a lot, and maybe I talk about it too much, so tell me in the chat if I do talk about this too much, but it doesn't matter, you know, the size of your bag here, if you got $10 or you have 10 million. If you want to invest yourself into making this a better project, you can do that. And when you do that, the great thing about that is people are going to be, you know, take notice of you and all the work that you're doing. And shout out to all the amazing people here that are doing all these types of tasks to make this ecosystem better. But as I was saying, it doesn't matter what you have financially, you know, like in your wallet. AJ is an incredible guy who takes notice of those things, and you know he always talks about, you know, promotion from within, and you know he shows it when you know, look, I just happened to be lucky enough to be here day one. I was, you know, fortunate that I had the time, you know, to be able to, you know, help out in the forum or in the channel. And I think most people here can echo that same sentiment. It was the same thing. Nobody really came here with the idea that I know of. Nobody came here with the idea like, oh, I'm going to help, and you know, next thing you know, I'm going to be, you know, speaking on the AMAs. I'm going to be writing strategy guides, and I'll just, you know, throw it to Joe. I mean, Joe, did you ever come here with the intention that you were going to be speaking on AMAs and writing strategy guides and, you know, and help build things here?
Absolutely not. I've actually never talked on any other AMAs. I've been in DeFi for probably about a year and a half, and a lot of projects mostly failed. Some did okay for a while. So for me, it was more of a musical chairs, like figure out the protocol, see where I can, you know, take advantage of certain price actions or what's going on, and get in, get out, and then move on to the next project. There was no sense of community or building. It was really just, hey, is there any type of uh, opportunity here to make some money while it lasts. And that's always
Mm.
what it was.
Yep.
Money while it lasts. And don't be the last one without a chair, right?
Yep.
And yeah, no, so I made friends and connections in Discord and Telegram with certain people that kind of aligned with my strategy and my personality. But it was just that. It was individuals. It was never as a community coming together to everyone, just locking hands and really moving the project forward in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely a first. Never talked on an AMA, never posted any strategy things. I did it for myself and the people that I connected with, and we worked together. But that was it. It was all, I don't want to say greed, but it was just kind of like look out for yourself because you're in this wild west degen world, and at any moment things can change. And this is the first protocol I came to with that same attitude, and it didn't take long to realize that something was different. And little by little, and then just like having AJ on every single night and him being so transparent was really a first for me. And that just spoke volumes. And then that just resonated with other people like yourself, Bull, and the rest of the community, where it was just like, yeah, everybody's here with a common goal and they all want everyone to succeed, because this is the first protocol where what you do and is greedy for your bags is also good for the protocol, and that's unheard of in the DeFi world. So yeah, I mean, it was huge. So what that did was that just accelerated my excitement and my involvement and wanting to put in extra time to kind of help everyone, because in turn it also helps me think better and come up with better strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, what I do doesn't I don't have to outwit the next guy like I was used to. It was really about, hey,
Yeah.
how do we collectively all do well? And hey, someone else is going to give me a light bulb moment and say, hey, I didn't consider that.
Yep.
That's an awesome idea. And, let's work on that and let's come up with new ideas. So yeah, it's totally killer. And you're right. AJ is infectious with his personality and his honesty and transparency.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have so many people with so many talents that kind of bring it all together. And to see the detonator and just even the UI become what it is today is really blows my mind. I mean, I was impressed with the whole new UI and the whole, remake of it. And then the detonator coming out was just like, I mean, this thing is, I look at it and I think I'm on a fighter jet dashboard. It's got so much going on, but at the same time, we're used to the protocol. We know the components, and they just added so many features that make it so much more attractive to people that haven't been in EMP. That, yeah, you're right. There's lots of eyes on this, and just the pool balance over time has exploded. And I think we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg here, where with the different plays that we have in here with the multiple winners and the win it now, I think we're really going to see some serious movement, all for the better, very, very soon. And we're already seeing it, but I think this is just the beginning of the acceleration in the detonator. And then from there, when people get attracted to the detonator, they're going to say, hey, it's not just the detonator. What's this other thing with the farms, and the nodes and the boardroom? And, we got these autocompounders, and all of a sudden it's just like you get sucked in like a black hole and you want to stay because it's a good black hole. It's not a scary black hole. And yeah, there's so many people here putting so much time, and we don't get paid for it. And we're not disgruntled and saying, hey, where's my paycheck? The paycheck is in the protocol and knowing how to use it. So we all willingly put in massive amounts of time and effort because we want to. And that's not something you can take away, where a paycheck, you just jump on to the next, bigger paycheck. Who's willing to pay more? We're here because we want to be here,
for sure,
which is awesome.
Yeah, awesome, Joe. I mean, I've told this, before on live stream and AMA, whatever you want to call it, is that when if anybody's heard like AJ's story of how he got the idea to kind of build a team and do a project, it's actually pretty amazing. And it really, epitomizes what crypto is all about. And, AJ has told you everybody a number of times, how long he's been in crypto, and, that, he's done really well. And, number one, don't let him fool you. He puts a lot of time in and is very committed. He didn't just get lucky. It's a lot of dang work. And so, but, the interesting thing about, making that investment in yourself and showing up all the time, and consistency really does pay dividends here. And, a lot of times I don't speak about money because, number one, I think it's impractical to talk about, what you have versus what somebody else has. And, but I want to be the type of person that talks about the opportunity that's present in this space that I don't think is really present in anywhere other type of industry in the entire world. But it's the ability to really rebuild yourself what you want to hear and build, in this community, the ability to rebuild your crypto self, your digital self, whatever you want to call it, your avatar, whatever. You have all of the tools here, to really build a solid foundation. And the point I'm trying to get at is that when you make that investment in yourself and the community and other people take notice of that. And the reason like AJ and these guys got together was because they were in, as investors, just in other projects, in Telegrams. And it just so happened that they always showed up, and, they all seem to be in the same type of projects, the same type of protocols, the same times. And when you show up at the same time, people recognize your name. Like, anybody that's been in our Telegram recognizes Stinky Beans because he's everywhere. You think he might be a bot, but he's an actual person. He's putting in the work of a bot, actually more when we've actually looked at the statistics, which is amazing. And I think Joe can back me up on that. And when we, go over to, Discord, look at the names over there and tell me, the people who always show up. We know who those people are. Red. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to call anybody out. But the point here is that when you show up and you're consistent and you're diligent and you make a positive impact on people and on the community, that's the type of thing that really is going to set you up to make crypto friends, and it's going to make crypto fun. And Joe, what do you think? Have you learned more in this community than the year and a half that you've been in DeFi prior to EMP?
Yeah, no bullshit, 100%, absolutely. Yeah, it just opened my eyes to what I envisioned DeFi to be, but it never was, and finally it's here. So yeah, it's just, I wake up every morning excited to check my daily burst, to check my farm.
Hey, I got to cut you off really quick. How much earlier did you look at your daily burst because of that win button being utilized yesterday? I mean,
yeah, that win button is killer. That was such a great innovative idea, and I think we're going to bring in a lot of eyes on that for sure. Aside from even the crazy snipes, and I don't know. I mean, the rest of the community can chime in, but the fact that we came up with multiple winners is huge, while keeping the protocol healthy, because, like you said, there's some people that have $100 investment in Detonator, and we're never saying that's a bad idea. Everyone has to make their own decision on their time frame and what they want for returns. And you can always compound your way up to, that 0.12 ticket, and plenty of people have, and those people even won the lottery. And a couple of people have had amazing stories where they started with a small amount and they were a little like, oh, did I do the right thing locking up my funds in here? And they just said, they asked the community, and we said, you got to keep compounding, and when you can, put a little money in and strive towards that one ticket, and one ticket becomes two, becomes three, and so on. and to hear when they win the lottery, and it's awesome to hear those stories.
Joe, you might have missed it because I'm sorry, when you were on your anniversary vacation. Oops, sorry. Yeah, well, happy anniversary to you and your wife. So,
no, that's all right.
Okay,
that's no secret.
Okay, but there was actually a winner with one ticket, and the next,
Really?
yep,
Awesome.
yep. And it was Degen Crypto, and he's a guy that puts in work, and if you look at that snipe list, that was his little baby that he started right away, and his contribution to the community amongst other things. But really, I was really happy to see that just the power that one ticket has, and like AJ said, it's true randomness now because of the integration with the Oracle. But I'm getting off topic here. Somebody won with one ticket, and if you don't think you can win and you're not going to even look at it, I would encourage you to look again, because I know one person, like I said, won it with one ticket. The next day it was somebody with two tickets, and so there's 100% chance of you not winning if you don't enter. I'm not telling you to invest. I am telling you to look at the opportunity in front of you and make your own choices. But with that being said, I think the odds are amazing. And as these, the potential, let's just talk about this a little bit. If we had a 3% snipe, then that means a 3% largest depositor. That would mean 3 people would take home. I'm not looking exactly at the numbers here, but 3 people would walk away with over 1,000 LP each, and that's life changing. And so, do you think it's worth your time to look at the ability to put LP in, an LP, not some junk token that's connected to another junk token with no upside? We're talking about EMP, where we have $25 million in liquidity, user-owned liquidity, by the way. And so you control your keys, you control your kingdom, whatever you want to do with it. But because those things are married together in such a fashion, and we have the detonator, and you have the ability to put it on the farm, there is an incredibly powerful synergy between that farm and the detonator. The ability to continuously pay out these is not in small part to the marrying of these things. If you look at any other type of ROI contracts, a reason they have problems: liquidity. And the beautiful thing here is that there is a ton of liquidity because this project is transparent. You can see that you own it. You have gains. You see that you have an impact. You know when you have a positive impact, and when you have a negative impact. You know that. How do you know that? You can see it on Deck Screener. When you make that sell, you make that buy, you make that deposit. All of those things matter. What you do matters. You can't say that, for the vast majority of things on the top 500. Your investment doesn't matter. You don't matter in those ecosystems. That is not being mean. That is just being realistic. Here, you are an owner. Everything you do has the ability to change your life. And the detonator, it is one of the fastest ways, to change, potentially your crypto life and then your real life. Because if you were one of those people on that rare occasion, we don't know, that's a great thing. We don't know what people are going to deposit, when they're going to deposit, if they're going to deposit. You can only build, with the idea that they're going, to be interested in the product if it's right for them. And I think it's shown that the detonator is right for so many people, and it's going to be right for so many more. But when we look at that, wouldn't you love to be able to have that story that, yeah, you know what, I spent a lot of time, really kind of investigating this platform, the different pieces, how they fit together. And I really like this detonator thing. I didn't know exactly what it was when I got here, but I spent the time, reading the white paper, listening to, the people, on YouTube talk about it, people on the AMAs talk about it, people in the community talk about it. You did your due diligence. And that's something that's lacking in crypto is due diligence. And please Google that term if you're not familiar with it. And that's not trying to be condescending. Just if you've never heard of it, just please look it up. No pun intended. So the where was I going with this? So the point is that wouldn't it be awesome to have that story of buying that ticket, that one LP, and instead of if you're in America, and you're a person that likes to go to, say, Starbucks. Now, no offense to Starbucks, but their coffee is expensive. Maybe skip that one day, and get yourself 0.15 LP, which is around $8 or $9. Deposit it, and see what happens. And I would love to be that person. That said, hey, check it out, and the person checked it out and it happened for them. That would be amazing. But even more so, frankly, I'd love to be that person that put in one ticket, and it was just happened to be on a day where everybody was, the stars kind of aligned, and the people were like, you know what, I really looked into this. I've done my homework, and they drop a 3% deposit. Just an incredible, probably around 360 grand. I don't, like I said, I'm not looking at the numbers exactly right now, but if, somebody did that and you were one of those random tickets, what kind of a story is that from one ticket, $8 or $9, to 120 grand? You want to talk about, 100x overnight? That's nothing. The ability to go from $8 to 100,000, that's a story you can tell for the rest of your life. And you know what? It's not even just that. It's the fact that you can 365 on that over time as well. And as we see, ETH, really starting to gain momentum, what happens, if you're that person that has won that 1,000 LP, and it's 365, and ETH, goes to 3,000, 4,000, 10,000. Who knows? We don't know where it's going to go. If you're in DeFi, you know that it's going to go up at some point in the future. And that's the point. We're here because we want to be here, but you should be here because, you should want to build too, and understand that there's not a whole lot of opportunity in DeFi to be able to make a contribution that actually affects, your bags and like your future here in terms of meeting the right people and just gaining knowledge. So everyone that's here, please take advantage of that and just spend a little bit of time, don't watch those kitty videos tonight. Instead, watch some videos on how to do things in this ecosystem.
Yeah, 100%. And Bull, not to put you on the spot, or if anyone else knows, when you were talking about our massive liquidity and that AJ kept reinforcing, that makes us so different than so many projects, because project that has little liquidity can move really quick in price, but at the same time, it can make a U-turn and just dump in price. And if you've been in DeFi, you've seen that over and over again. So liquidity acts like that protective shield that buffers any type of whale games or manipulation. And the fact that we had that liquidity during that, the huge drop in prices across the board, we were able to maintain above 80% peg in the worst time in crypto history, which is really amazing. And just from that point to where we are today, to have that liquidity just keep growing is just so bullish. If you're new to DeFi, it's incredible if you look at our liquidity. And what I was getting at was on Binance, do you or anyone else recall where we rank as far as the amount of Ethereum we actually hold as a protocol?
It's a little bit different because of ETH staking, so it has dropped to 23. But the point there is that's opportunity for growth. And if you actually look at those wallets that are above us, they're Binance hot wallets, Pancake Swap, Swap. So they're very large protocols and multiple different wallets from those entities. So I think that's a really a kind of a badge of I don't know what the badge would be, but maybe like just accomplishment for this community to show the little. This is kind of the little engine that could. And it just kind of we kept on building, kept on trucking along, and we're right up there ranking in terms of Ethereum with all of the big dogs on BSC. So yeah, go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No, not at all. And I mean, even being 23 is massive. I mean, given all the projects that are out there, I mean, definitely we are becoming a known project. So even with the ETH staking ending and the fact that you can still earn in the farms by making those LPs is huge, because LP at the end of the day is Ethereum. I mean, half of your token within the LP is Ethereum, real Ethereum, not make-believe algo Ethereum. It's EMP tied to that. And anyone that's concerned about impermanent loss with the EMP ETH token, you can just dismiss that, because it's kind of irrelevant. It's really acts almost like a stable coin. How close, because the way we're able to maintain peg, sometimes we go above peg, that's where we are now, and sometimes we drop below peg, which is also healthy. That's how this whole protocol works. But regardless, if you do the math on it, and there's that whiteboard crypto that you mentioned, Bull, which I love.
Everybody loves it.
I learned a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I learned so much in DeFi from that in the beginning. But yeah, he's got a nice calculator, and I play with that every so often. Less so now, but yeah, I did different scenarios with us dropping with 80% below peg, being above peg, and regardless of where you created or purchased those LPs, the impermanent loss is less than 1%. It's like nothing. And the fact that you can earn on that offsets any concerns with even a minimal amount of impermanent loss. But if there's anyone new here, you can see, like we were talking about how everything was surging today. Ethereum, excuse me, is up over 8% in the last 24 hours. And we're slightly down. We're about 6.5%. But we're right there. If you look long term, you'll see, because of the way the LP structure works, and I've overlaid the charts before, we follow the price action of Ethereum very, very close. And that's a huge benefit to have a project that is tied to the number 2 crypto in all of all of the digital space. The fact that they chose that token is huge, because there's so much potential for Ethereum in the future. The fact that we can build our bags today in this bear market with high yield that you can't get anywhere else with Ethereum is just amazing. And when that price takes off, I'm not talking 8%, 10%. I'm talking like 8x, 10x, like crazy numbers. Who knows when that'll be, but it's coming. And the fact that we can get ready for it and prepare is just unbelievable. But back to the LP point, in the short term, when Ethereum has a quick surge, again, because of the way LP tokens work and they balance out the assets on both sides, we can see a little bit of bleeding in EMP, and vice versa. When Ethereum drops really fast in the short term, we can see a boost in EMP's price. But when you step back and zoom out, they both mirror each other really nice. So when you see ETH taking off quick in the short term and we drop a little bit, there's always going to be that slight lag in time. And that's just the way it works. And there's nothing to be concerned about, like, hey, why is Ethereum surging and we're not keeping up? There's always that lag, and it doesn't mean anything negative. It's just how the math works within LP structure.
Yeah, perfectly said, Joe. And I've been thinking about this the last few weeks, and I think I mentioned it on an AMA previously, but I know a lot of DeFi started out with LP and being an LP provider and getting that little clip for becoming an LP provider and, maybe getting another token for your participation in that pool. But why would somebody give their assets to a DEX, for just, a very tiny return on that investment? That small little fee that you get for all that transaction in relation to your contribution to that pool size. It's really small. And I really thought a lot about this, and we are actually a DEX here, but we get the full benefit of that. Instead of all of the benefit, the vast majority of the benefit of a DEX going to the owners of that protocol, or the team or the developers or the VC that owns that protocol, and the vast majority of the profits of that liquidity going to them. Here, all of that profit goes to you in relation to your percentage of the ownership of this platform. It just so happens we don't have 10 different tokens or 100 different pairs here. We have a couple different pairs. But because you're a liquidity provider for those pairs, you're rewarded that daily percentage every single day that you're here in the protocol, every minute you're here. And that number is phenomenally larger than what you would get by being an LP provider on Uniswap or Pancake Swap. And I'm not throwing shade at these platforms, because they're absolutely crucial to DeFi. Without DEXs, DeFi could not function. And so, but on a deeper level, we are all mini little DEXs here, taking the full clip of our ownership of this, instead of it being spread out 1,000 different ways, spread out to a few different people that own that protocol. Here, there's 4,000 owners roughly, on this LP. So those rewards, if you're on the farm, obviously you're rewarded in ESHARE. And so, how what you do with that is obviously up to you. But that's how you're rewarded here for providing liquidity. And I don't think anybody could complain about how ESHARE or how this system functions, or the fact that you get the full clip, or the full benefit of ownership of your providing liquidity to this platform. And so when I've talked about this before on I think on different AMAs, but I'm gonna I'll rattle this off really quickly. And this has to do with video games in crypto and video games in the real world. And so in here's what separates crypto from everything else in the world, and it's true ownership of what you put into it. And so here's an example. Everybody, I assume, or vast majority of people have played video games, and you buy a video game for $60, and then you usually have to have a subscription so that you can play it on your console, your Xbox or your PlayStation, and then you'd probably tend to pay some type of in-game subscription to play certain games or to get certain features. And nobody thinks that that's odd that when you do that, money flows from all of the users who really are supplying liquidity to that game, all flow really in one direction to that firm, be it Microsoft or EA, but the money flows all one way. But on a crypto game, the money flows in every single different direction, proportionate to your share of ownership of that platform in relation to profit. And it's the same here. And it's crazy kind of to me to think that everybody does not want to participate in this type of thing. And some people think it's scammy or Ponzi or whatnot. But why is there such this perception that when money flows out of people's pockets to corporations, that's how business should operate? But if if money flows to people, there is something nefarious or illegal or Ponzi-nomic about it. It's a very bizarre, like, kind of take to have, that people can't create anything, they shouldn't have ownership. But when I look at what exists here, this ability to absolutely own and profit from, you providing liquidity, in terms of money, or your investment of human capital, to actually increase the value, the TVL on this platform by attracting other people into the system and showing them that you can have a stake of ownership, in an economy where you're building something. And so I love crypto. I always have. From day one when I heard about it in 2013, I've loved it. This is by far and away, though, my favorite project I've ever been in. And so I can't say enough good things about the people here, the protocol, the ideas, and just really the ability to change your life, because you can do that because you own everything you do here, be it like bringing in liquidity or owning your actions of being helpful in the forum or not very helpful. You own all those things, and there's a value attached to those things, be it positive or negative. So you get to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a helper or a herder? Me, I want to be a helper, and I want to be a builder, because this is an incredible opportunity that exists for me. It exists for everybody that's in this space. All you have to do is, is reach your hand out there, and start typing away and start helping people.
Nice, Bo. As far as the protocol, and you're bringing about, what we earn, if there's anyone new on this call, I think it's just a good idea to maybe give you a quick snapshot. We say that there's over 10 ways to earn, and
Yep.
if you're new, that might sound intimidating.
Yep.
Really, there's not 10 ways to earn, but there's 10 different ways to earn. So don't be afraid to dip your toes in. And really, what works out well for people just starting out, because again, we talked about liquidity, you want to own EMP-ETH LPs. That's the king token and the king asset that allows you to expand within the protocol. So as far as what rewards you get, the farms is a great place to start. So in the farms, we have 3 different pools, 3 different LPs. Regardless of which one you go in, 1, 2, or all 3, you're going to earn ESHARES. And then as far as earning EMP, we have nodes, and we have the boardroom. The boardroom turns on when we're above 1.01, and the higher we are above that PEG, we call it TWAP, or time weighted average. So the boardroom is broken up into 6-hour segments called epochs. And so when our average is above 1.01, that determines how much EMP is minted into circulation. It allows our economy to expand. So nodes and boardroom both reward in EMP. It's just a different way. Nodes is new EMP. I'm sorry. Boardroom is new EMP minted into the system. It's a reward for us being above PEG. And then nodes is locking up EMP to earn back EMP at a 400% ROI. And the bigger your node, the faster you get that return on your EMP that you locked up. The beauty of this system is that we have 2 tokens, EMP being the primary token, and then we have ESHARES. So having a 2-token system protocol separates us from a lot of other protocols that you've been in. So many of them have a single asset token, which means the only way for you to pull out profits and to make money is to sell the native token. So what does that do? That creates sell pressure. So you'll see this huge run up, and then you see this huge dump. So if you don't time it right, whether you go into their node projects or their staking pools, you have to sell that asset to get out and cash out and hopefully make a profit. So that means the smart, savvy whales will watch that chart and price action, and they will dump on everybody because they know that that's the only way to cash out, is to sell that native token. So the beauty of a 2-token system is we're allowed to build with EMP and take profits in ESHARES. And ESHARES does not hurt the protocol one bit. While we all like to have high ESHARE price because that drives the APR, it allows us to responsibly take profits while maintaining a healthy EMP protocol. And that's the game changer right there. So if you're new to DeFi, this 2-token system is just genius, because when you just have one token, like we said, if you don't sell at the top, you're stuck holding the bag and your coins are worthless. And when there's no liquidity, that happens really, really fast. Your funds are vaporized, you go to sell them and they're worthless.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, you can have whale-sized bags, you can have small bags, doesn't matter, because you can pull profits in ESHARES and the protocol is still healthy and it'll be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day. The Detonator rewards in LPs. So you deposit LPs, you get back LPs. So each of those components reward in different ways. It's just a matter of how you want to strategize and what your time frame is. So I just wanted to kind of break that down for anyone new.
Perfect.
Autocompounder is really a farm that's automated. It's like hiring a farmer to take your eShare rewards, because it still earns eShares like the farms, but then it automatically sells your eShares. Like Magic, for example, is a very popular one, because they do it at a minimum of every 2 hours. They'll auto compound, meaning they take those eShares, they create the LP, they zap them back in to earn you more LPs. So it automatically compounds and stacks LPs without you having to spend any gas. And it doesn't matter if you're sleeping, you're working, it's working for you, and you're not spending gas to have that done. So if you just want to build your LPs and that's the only thing you're in when you start off, and that is great because it keeps you liquid, meaning if you want to jump out of the farms and go into the Detonator, or you want to expand in other areas, or maybe think about getting a node, the farms allow you to do that. And autocompounder lets you do that automatically. And it has a nice buy pressure on EMP, because again, those eShare rewards, to make those LPs, you have to buy half of that value in EMP and the other half in ETH. So it's constantly buying Ethereum off the open market, helping to drive up the value of EMP. So it's a beautiful system. Now, for other people that have been in this a long time, or they started off by aping into nodes because they got sucked in by the high APR, it is very attractive. I like to call it the dessert of the protocol. It kind of rewards you for, everything else.
Don't eat to that dessert first, right, Joe?
Exactly. But if you go for that chocolate cake first and the ice cream, you're not going to feel good in the end. And if you do it continuously, your health is going to drop. And it's the same thing in here. The dessert is attractive and we all love it. And there's nothing wrong with owning nodes. I love nodes. But I started off in the Detonator. For most people, and that's just because I didn't take time to look at everything, I was very attracted to the Detonator, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for most people, the farms is a great way to start, because it gives you the flexibility to, what I say, earn while you learn, and allow you to pull those funds out and go into the Detonator later, now that you know what the Detonator is. Because some people just throw in $50 and they think they're going to get 365% like overnight, and it doesn't work that way.
That's right.
Your rewards are not 1%, and a lot of people get confused with that. They think 365 means 1% a day for a year. It's 365 of whatever you put in, but it's paid out gradually. If you claim your daily rewards, it's around 0.5%. If you compound, it's anywhere from 0.6 to 0.7, and some days with the high snipes, meaning people that deposit, we also get 6% divvied up by all investors, and we get a piece of that. So if you're good about compounding at the very end, you can get as high as 75.8% on some days. But that daily reward is going to fluctuate, and I'm okay with that, because if you go into a contract that says pays 1%, a flat 1%, sure, that's fixed, it's easy to understand. But here's the problem. If the mechanics behind it don't allow sustainability and people are dumping like crazy, 1% a day is meaningless, because what matters at the end of the day is how much do you have. So I rather have a protocol that has the mathematics behind it that adjusts that output for sustainability, because I need this project to be here tomorrow and the next day. I don't want 1% if it's not healthy for the protocol. And that's the beauty of the detonator. It fluctuates. So people that are the detonator, I think more and more are understanding it, is that don't focus on what the daily APR is. While we all like higher amounts, just focus on what you originally put in and how much you have now, because you will be amazed when you're in the detonator and you've been compounding, especially in the beginning. You should really just compound to grow it to a level that you want. It's personalized for everybody, but with prices so low on Ethereum now, I don't know who wants to be claiming more than they compound. And the beauty of the detonator is the way the mechanics work is that you actually ROI faster by compounding more than claiming. So a whale can't come in here, dump $100,000 and drain the pool. It doesn't work that way. They can only take out so much per day, pretty much at the same rate as everyone else. Their daily burst will be higher value-wise, but percentage-wise it won't be. So that's why it puts everyone on a level playing field, and that's the beauty of the detonator. And all the components within EMP have the mechanics behind it that adjust to go with different changes in the market and what's going on, which is beautiful, because we're in a great position today. And I don't worry about where my detonator is going to be tomorrow. In fact, I've gotten all my family members in it. I have my son in it. My son's friend just got in it. I have my uncle, who's 96, is in it. I have I didn't get my dad in it yet. He's not comfortable with DeFi yet.
Yeah.
But every time I see him, I show him my detonator balance and what I put in, and I know he's taken note.
Yeah.
But eventually, he might dip his toes in. But yeah, it's a beautiful system. And if you want to share your experience with the detonator, do it. I mean, we have on the screen there on the bottom, you'll see a link that allows you to copy that link and send it to someone. So if you're in the detonator and you get someone else in the detonator, you get 3% of their deposits. And it's not just their first deposit, it's any deposits they make using your link. If they compound, you don't get 3% of that. But for fresh deposits, you get 3%. And that's a great way to spread the word about EMP and the detonator, and you get rewarded for it. And I've utilized that a lot. And yeah, I mean, 3% today at a low Ethereum price is a lot more when that price recovers and we're back in the bull market.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be amazing when ETH just. I mean, really, look, in the last month, it's really just taken off from down from 800 up to 1850, and so when we do, finally get to that the merge, and I mean, my personal opinion was the merge was always going to be the thing that pulled us out of a bear, just because of the excitement. But when we see, whenever it happens, that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 Ethereum, and the beautiful part about not knowing when it's going to happen is that we're in a daily ROI machine right now. So who cares if it happens in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? Those are just days to keep stacking LP, to keep stacking and adding to your position, because when we see that $3,700 ETH, and we see that LP is now $121. I think that is the thing that we can look at and say, okay, now I finally get it. And the people that have been here for a few months actually have the kind of the notch in their belt, or whatever you want to call it, the experience to tell people like, yeah, this has happened to me, and it can happen to you over time. And I know at first you know, a lot of people are like, well, it seems so slow. It's going so slow for me. And it does feel that way. But I'm, you know, I've heard so many people speak on this that we know that just over time you finally start getting over that threshold, and you know, then it's the next benchmark, the next goal that you want to hit, and it escalates really quickly once you can kind of get that snowball moving. But really, the best way to do that is to be here every single day in the community learning. And I know I keep harping on this, but you can't watch the charts on these type of protocols and win. You're going to lose because you're going to panic sell because you're going to see something, and you don't know really what's going on in the community if all you're looking at is the charts. And where Joe had, you know, made a really great example of that, it follows Ethereum, because it does. There will be times that Ethereum is slightly above us or slightly below us, but at, you know, the reality is that if we have a high enough education level and a high enough confidence level, we can actually maintain PEG all the time and be above that 101 time weighted average price, the TWAP, because what happens in the macro market really doesn't affect us. It is primarily EMP sells and buys. If there are more sells in terms of dollar value, PEG is going to go down. And, you know, everybody should be, you know, vitally or very aware of that happening, because if you think, oh, okay, well, it's just $100 here, $100 there, $50, $10, all of those things will add up. And, you know, the perfect reflection of that is this right here, PEG health. Now we're doing amazing. Did somebody want to say something?
No, go ahead. I was opening my mic. I was going to let you finish up.
Okay. So the point is we have these little infographics now to really kind of remind people of where we're at and where we want to be as a protocol. If you want the Boardroom to keep printing, you want your eShare values to continue to rise, you know, we need to hold these certain numbers. And the beautiful part about crypto, you know, all of the choices that you make, nobody can tell you what to do. You're the one clicking the buttons when you buy or sell. So that's what I have to say right now. So go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just going to add on to what you were saying, where when you're starting off, it seems a little slow, and it is, because it doesn't happen overnight. We're not paying, 50 trillion APR like other protocols I've been in. This is about sustainability, not about sucking you into a high APR.
Yep.
And I had many people have reached out to me when I brought up the, create your own Boardroom when we weren't printing. And again, we said you earn EMP through the Boardroom when we're above PEG, the 1.01. But when we're below, it systematically shuts off so that it doesn't dilute the price of EMP, which is exactly what you want. Unlike governments that just keep printing into infinity, the system just kind of shuts off and goes through that cooling off period. But when that happens and you still want EMP because you're making ESHARES in the farms, if you have a node that allows you to create the EMP, one half of the LP token. And I had this person, I remember a while back, I helped them bridge over Ethereum that they had to get started in this. And they were like, I don't have a lot. And I said, that's okay. I mean, you can get started with a little. It's everybody's different. And they reached out to me later saying, I have enough to get a node, a mini node. And should I get that? And we talked about the pairing where you balance what you're earning through ESHARES in the farms with the same dollar value in the nodes. So they ended up buying that, and they checked back with me a few months later, and they said, I just want to give you an update. They said the strategy is working amazing. I've been able to almost 3x my LP position from when I started, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see what comes next. So stories like that are awesome, and when people get that light bulb moment, it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, like when you have that first one, those next ones come so much quicker, and like the confidence that instills in you, because most people, this isn't your first project, and in a lot of projects people got wrecked, but this truly is all about win-win. That isn't BS. We win together, we lose together. That's the simple truth. And so we need to be, kind of, lockstep, marching forward with those same type of goals. And not everybody's going to be there and do that with us, but when the vast majority of us move in that direction, that's the way the ecosystem moves. You ready to go into Detonator, Joe?
Where are we with time on that?
10 minutes. 10 minutes, man.
10 minutes. All right. Yeah, we can go to Detonator.
All right.
Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Bull, and
Yeah.
Joe, I got my dad in
Awesome.
today, right before rollover.
Okay.
What'd you get him into?
Yeah, I got him into the Detonator, of course, but yeah, I was just posting in the chat, like he's like, I don't know about this. It seems like we're gambling at Caesar's Palace here.
Did you show him that epic video with the Detonator?
Oh, I did, man. Yeah, that was what really. He's like, okay, we'll give it a shot.
Nice.
But it's all good. I was just showing him how to compound and everything. So of course, he's got like maybe 10 tickets. I just
Awesome.
I loaded his what do you call his MetaMask with some BNB.
Nice.
And just I'm like, here we go, let's do this. And now the next one is getting my 18-year-old, which is like getting him to do anything is a feat in and of itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a 19-year-old, so I get it.
Hey, Aaron, I'll just drop a little bit of. We're kind of exploring ways to gamify it so that it, there's aspects that look like a video game with this too. So maybe that's gonna, be the thing that gets people to jump over and check it out. Certain people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's getting ready to start at the U, so
Nice.
yeah, so he's at that age where it's just like, girls, college, and I'm like, hey, I'm in all these other crypto courses and stuff, so I'm trying to get him, well, he's going to be a math major, not to go too much into it, but
Yeah, nice.
so he's got that going for him, right? But I'm like, here, learn a little bit about finance and crypto,
Yep, for sure.
That's
Sorry,
great.
go ahead, Joe.
You never have to go to work.
Yeah. Okay, people. What do we want to talk about here first? Let me see. Since it's
I'm gonna wait because we only have 7 minutes till the rollover. But
okay.
I came up with a new strategy about covering your gas. So every time you do it, that's why I asked today in VIP. I tried to get field some data on how many transactions people do a day, and it varied. It went from anywhere from 2 to 10. So I just want to go over one strategy I came up with, and it's to cover your gas, basically free gas for the life within the protocol. But we're 6 minutes left, so I'm just going to leave you with that.
Okay.
And tomorrow on the AMA, I'll bring it up and I'll go through
Perfect.
what you can do to cover your gas. You pay a little bit today, so you're kind of pre-funding your gas membership. But by doing that, you can let the system make all the gas you need to cover your transaction fees forever, which is pretty cool.
No, that's ridiculous. So the big change here, obviously, with Detonator V2, the Win It Now feature, this might get moved to a more noticeable spot. So just a heads up, we'll let everybody know about that in advance as well. Current largest deposit, 122 LP. So I'm sure there are snipers waiting in the wings. If anybody can chime in that's watching the chart right now, that would be amazing. But that being said, we do have the scoreboard now, and deposits are cumulative. So we can see today, biggest, the largest deposits right now. And so, we should be able to see in real time these change if anybody jumps ahead and, ends up taking that largest deposit. And cumulative. And if you don't know what that means, it means with the previously the detonator had it was a single shot. You had to make that first shot your best shot. But now, because we have the scoreboard active, you can stack deposits upon deposits to try to get to that top spot. And depends on where the largest deposit goes, that will determine the reward for the random ticket holder that ends up being selected as the winner. And that can be anywhere from where's that chart at? I have so many tabs open. Let's see here. How much time do we got left? 4 minutes. So just bear with me, people. I gotta find this chart. Oops.
Yeah, so as Bull pulls that up, 122 is the largest deposit so far. So prior to the new release, once you have to make your first shot the best shot, meaning that you can't make a second deposit. So one of the tweaks is that if someone comes above this, the person that put in 122 can stack additional LPs to outmatch that other person. So it's almost like a bidding game.
Yep.
While the timer's still going, which is really nice, because sometimes you might have 500 LP, but you don't want to, go all in. You want to just say this 122 guy, you want to put in, say, 130 or 150. Well, if he counter snipes within the time limit and you see it, you can stack on top without losing out on your original 150 you put in, which is pretty sweet.
Yep, absolutely. So everybody make sure you're getting ready to compound. 2 minutes, 55 seconds. And everybody obviously check out the white paper if you haven't, and watch that epic video from Julius if you haven't done that as well. There's some really great examples here of how the new function of the largest depositor works in relation to also how it works with the random ticket holder. So we will go into that after the rollover. So anybody betting on that win button being utilized again?
Definitely getting crap.
Yep. 100%. And I'm certain everybody's noticed their daily burst has jumped up dramatically. I know mine has.
Yeah, what's going on with that, Bull? It's too much.
It's too much. It's too much. I'll give it away. Just give it away. Is your dad watching right now, Aaron?
Jake to fix that.
Well, he's up in the office, so I don't think so. I haven't got him really hooked yet.
Oh man, he's gonna go bonkers if he's got that winning lottery ticket.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah,
Day one.
Yeah. There has been 2 day one winners, by the way. So I think they both had between 8 and 12 tickets. Actually, I think Max had 50 tickets, but sorry, Max, if I doxed you, buddy.
Put the scoreboard, Bull, on the YouTube. Put the scoreboard.
Ah, okay.
1 minute out. Good luck, guys.
There we go, Charlie.
All right, get in your last minute compounds. We got 35 seconds.
Uh-oh. Joe's getting ready to squeeze juice. Every drop.
Yeah, you know it, Bo.
You got to open up that lemonade stand, right?
For sure. 18 seconds.
10 seconds. I know you're my age, Joe, so I know you played in the computer lab at school, the game Lemonade, so...
Oh, yeah.
That's right. The one computer in the entire school.
All right, 252.
Did that.
See if that took it. Charlie, chime in if you see something else.
Still rolling over.
I didn't see anything else, but somebody already hit the win it now.
Ah.
I think.
They did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2163. Yeah.
Holy
was like,
smokes. Oh, yeah,
12
I see it now.
12,600 tickets.
Ah.
Well, that didn't take long, did it?
Yeah. Let's see if that.
Yeah, so the snipe is 252 from what I'm seeing. The winning now was taken already.
Yeah, so the lottery prize was 300, and
Okay.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they got more than they put in.
Yep.
And we also have a random lottery winner. So they also got a matching LP. Yeah, so you can see with the changes, we got a decent snipe today. I mean, 300 is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, it's $60 per LP. So, I mean, they put in 18,000. We didn't have one of those crazy 1,000 LP days, but we did have the win it now button. So that was big. The nice thing, the way the new protocol works is, you know, if you give out way too much, like someone puts in, say, like 50 LPs, and 50 LPs have won, and I think a lot less, right, Bo? 5 LPs won one time. So
Yeah, that's the smallest ever. Yep.
25
Right,
was
so-
the smallest. Yeah.
So if someone put in 100 LPs and they won, you know, 1% of the pool, that's an ungodly amount of money, you know, 1,100 LPs. And so this is the way to keep the protocol healthy and also to help that daily APR, to increase that daily burst. So Aaron, you were saying, why is our daily burst going up? What's going on? And I know you were half joking, but on the plus side, with the changes that were made with the system, it rewards those more that put in more, and that's the way it should be. So rather than saying we're going to cap the LPs to say like a number like 500, as we keep growing in the detonator, you know, 500 is a lot, but in the future it may not sound that big, where this allows people to keep getting sucked in and being engaged to the system and going for that largest prize, and knowing that what they put in will be matched up to 3%, right?
Yep.
I'm still a little hazy, I apologize. So they can get up to 3% of the pool matched with whatever they put in. And so that's a way to reward them really well while still keeping the protocol healthy and helping to keep that daily burst slowly stair-stepping up. And, you know, I don't think there'll be a day where we don't see 1%, and it could be greater than 1%. And the beauty is the system will throttle and adjust
Yep.
that daily
Flexibility.
burst to keep it healthy while rewarding all of us.
Yeah, and that, you know,
Yeah.
you really touched on a really good point, Joe, earlier on. It's that the key, sustainability, right? We obviously, if somebody could build a system that would spit out incredible, you know, like, let's just say 5% daily, everybody would love that. But it, you know, you have to be realistic. You know, the number one goal has to be sustainability, and, you know, Why? Because this is a passive income machine. It's not a lottery. It's not a slot machine, right? Obviously, there are some mechanics in Detonator that are like that, but the point here, I think that everybody should understand is that we want to have this built so that it's around, not just in a month, but in a year and 2 years and 3 years, because that's the goal of a passive income, right? Like, you don't buy a rental house so that you can have it sit vacant for a year and then sell it. You want to have it utilized and earning you capital. But if it's a profitable part of your portfolio, you obviously want to hold on to it and make sure you're doing your part to maintain that and make sure that it's growing and that you're earning from that, because the goal with any type of passive income platform is, we're trying to substitute this, or clocking in at a job, having to drive there and have somebody else be your boss, and you not having input or choices or chances to to excel or move up. Here you have all of that. It's just up to you. How you want to play it? How do you want to do you want to be a good business owner or a bad business owner? But at the end of the day, you have to decide if you're going to click that button to sell or that button to buy, or whatever you're doing. And I hope everybody has that long-term mindset, and that you don't think that you're just going to come here and 100x overnight, because that's not what this is. This is a substitute for having that 9 to 5 type of job where but you have to build it, and you have to make that investment to get to that point where you can actually do that.
A couple wins too, though, is the daily burst went up 0.02, so 2 days in a row it's been increased, and the pool balance went up over 2,000
Nice.
LP.
Nice. Thanks, Randy.
Yep.
Does anyone have a question they want to bring up?
Aaron, did your dad win?
No, I gotta go up and check. Well, I was hoping to piggyback off what you and Joe were saying, is that what I really like about this is that this project is not only really sustainable, but pretty much what you were talking about, the daily burst, Joe, is that like this project, or the protocol, says, hey, whales, like, you're welcome here, and it's like it's like a people run project, but hey, if you're a whale, you're going to be rewarded.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Whales are necessary for a project, because
And they're
bringing
welcome
that
here.
money. And they're welcome. So yeah, they come in, they make a splash. They don't knock the rest of us out
Nice.
of the fish tank.
Yeah.
Whales welcome.
Yep.
What we do is we get to surf the wave that they make and
That's
enjoy
right.
the ride.
Yep.
And you're right, Aaron. It's awesome to have that ability, because you need the whales to grow that liquidity. And the beauty thing about the detonator is they put in $100,000, they can't turn around 3.65 that investment and drain the contract. It doesn't let you do that. And as AJ says, it turns paper hands into diamond hands with the detonator.
Exactly.
I have something exciting to share.
Yeah.
That wicked detonator video just hit, I think it's 2,000 views
Nice.
in the first day. So how badass is that? Yeah, 2,000 views in just over a day. So that's
Amazing.
wicked.
LA, do you have any? I know there was a bunch of Medium articles that dropped today, right?
Yes, so we have a new Medium article on the Detonator Upgrades today that dropped, and that one's a really good one to share out if someone in the community or someone outside the community that you're looking to get into the community has questions, or maybe they read through the white paper and they just need to dive a little bit deeper to understand. It just really explains everything very plainly and clearly without using any difficult lingo. It's just really simple to understand, and it goes a little bit deeper than the white paper, pulls from some of the AMAs and stuff that we've had and discussions that we had about it. And it's a good one to share to help someone understand a little bit deeper. So obviously we want to share it out to help pull in new people to our protocol as well. We see the detonator growing like crazy now. I think Charlie posted that we have 30 new participants today, so that's pretty amazing. So the more we can share out all these different little videos and articles, I think we'll see that number grow really quickly. So you can find the Medium article pinned in our group.
Perfect, LA. Awesome. Great work as usual. You know, LA's a champion, just doing everything behind the scenes. So, you know, always give shout out, love to her, because she's, I mean, nothing copy and paste, all original, all, you know, all the time from morning to night. So just amazing work ethic, quality, top notch. All right. Any other questions from anybody? Concerns, feedback? What about Jesse? I see Jesse here.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Britt, what's up?
Hey guys, I was just DMing Joe about that strategy he was talking about with the nodes in the farm, like the equal amount under the nodes. Can you guys elaborate on that?
Yeah. I'm glad you're on the call. I saw your reply. I saw your DM. I'm sorry, but as you know, I get too excited around the rollover, so I said I'll answer that afterwards. But yeah, perfect timing. And you know, a lot of people are using this, and people on the call are going to be familiar. But for those that are not, it's basically during that period where we didn't have the Boardroom printing for a long time, we needed a way to come up with strategies to maximize our LP production. Because again, like we said, LP is king. The EMP LP is king. So you can stick it in the farms and sell your ESHARES and zap in to make more LPs. You can put it in the auto farms, auto vaults, and they'll do it automatically, and you don't have to spend any gas. And those strategies still work. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to squeeze more juice out of that lemon, as I keep saying, or Bill keeps saying.
I only say it because you say it. I just do it to razz you a little bit.
And you know, the funny thing is I came up with that as a reply to someone who said, hey, I live on the other side of the world. I don't have time to hit it during the rollover. It's 3 a.m. And I was like, you don't need to squeeze all that juice out of the lemon. You'll still get 85%.
And you got that nice graph, right? That bar chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Sorry,
exactly.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Man. And here I am squeezing every drop that I can. But that's the beauty.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to that strategy. Really, it's when the Boardroom's not printing, and even when it is printing, it still works. Because as you know, the Boardroom, every 6 hours, it can change. It can shut off. It can throttle down. Where nodes have a nice consistent payout, while their APR does change, it tends to be more level than the Boardroom. And when the Boardroom's completely off, just like the farms, the nodes still reward continuously. So the whole idea is to create the same dollar value of EMP with your node as you do with your farm rewards and ESHARES. And the real premise is that you take your farmed ESHARE rewards and you trade them for Ethereum so that you have that half of the LP, and then you take your nodes emissions and then you marry them together and create the LP that you can then add to your balance in the farm so that you keep making more ESHARES. And the way you do that, or you come up with the formula, is you just take your node APR and you just have to figure out what size node makes sense. But example, like say you have a kilo node that's kind of like smack in the middle of the 5 nodes that we have. Currently, that's paying at 0.65. So you would take that 0.65 and divide it by the farm APR. And right now, the Ethereum I'm sorry, the EMP farm is paying at 0.14. So 0.65 divided by 0.14 gives you 4.6%. I'm sorry, 4.6. And what that means is you need 4.6 times more EMP LP value in the farms to match the emissions of that kilo node. And if you want to know like how much that is, you take that 4.6 and then you multiply it by the node price. So right now a kilo node is $940, right? So times 940 means you need $4,364 in the farm. And if you do that, it'll never be perfect because the system's dynamic, but that gets you really, really close, like close enough so that you can marry up the emissions from both sides. And by doing that, depending on which node you go with, you can go anywhere between 50% to over 60% faster LP production. So it requires more active, involvement, but you're rewarded with a much higher LP production. And you can do it whether the Boardroom's printing or not. So it's just a really cool strategy to maximize your LP production, which you can later move into the detonator or expand into other areas. Mm-hmm. But it's a way of constantly using that EMP rather than just have it build up and say, what do I do with my EMP? I shouldn't sell it, but I still want to make money. And by doing that balance strategy, it's a perfect way to do it and also get rewarded for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
And there's
sorry,
go ahead.
Same thing applies. You want to do that with nodes. It's just you take the APR of the node. I'm sorry, not with nodes. With the Boardroom, you take the APR of the Boardroom, you divide it by the farm APR, and it's the same thing. But just realize when the Boardroom's printing, and that's when you would do the calculation. Like yesterday, the Boardroom was crazy on fire. We were at 1.03. You're going to need a lot to balance. So don't freak out if you don't have it. You just do your best to try to balance it.
Totally. Well said, Joe. Perfect. That is also normally that formula is usually placed in the chat here too, but not today. So yeah, lots of strategies. Joe, what do they call Discord again? What's that name?
The library.
That's right.
Where all the...
But keep in mind, the library is where you get wicked smart, right?
Absolutely. And you get extra attention, like first class seating there.
Yeah. It's all front row, first class service over there.
That's right. And if you want to go to the pub or the disco and you want to have a little fun, Telegram is where it's at. So it's something for everyone.
Yeah. That's the great thing. Choice. And
I call our VIP room, that's the wine room, a little more sophisticated, but we're still having fun.
Yep. Yeah, nice. All right, there we go. Okay, any other questions? I think it went, I don't know. I'll have to look back on the stream and see how the video quality was, but I know the audio was on point, so that's good. Other than a little bit of lag. Joe, do you listen to the Telegram audio, or do you listen to the YouTube audio?
I listen to the Telegram, so I keep the YouTube open.
Okay.
And I like it to help with the stats, but yeah, I do it through Telegram because of just participating.
Cool. Okay, well, thanks to my co-host with the most, Joe, because I'm AJ today and you're Bull, right? Isn't that what you told me earlier today?
I did. It sounds funny you saying it, but yes.
Yeah, you're me, I'm AJ. Charlie's you. Somebody else is somebody else, but here, at the end of the day, you are you. Make your voice heard. Make sure that no bull S, that you are an owner of the ecosystem. Everything you do here matters. Your voice really matters, because that's how we know what doesn't work, what people don't understand, what people would like to see. And that's what this project is all about. It's about community ownership of this platform. But to truly own it, you have to get your hands dirty, and you got to be in the dirt, so to speak, and know how the thing, how the farms work, and the nodes work. You got to get under there and do oil changes sometimes, right, Joe? And figure out, how does this work? But the reality is there's farmers here to help you. There are mechanics here to help you with those cars, the nodes. And so take advantage of that. That's something, it's not just in VIP, where it's first class service. It's in Discord. It is in Telegram too. This is the best community in crypto, so don't be afraid to ask questions. The only bad question is that question that never gets asked, so it never gets answered. So get in the Telegram, get in the Discord, get involved, and change basically your crypto financial future.
Well said, Bo. Thank you.
No, thank
I
you.
just dropped the links. I just dropped the links to our email list. If you guys aren't a part of it already, word on the street is there's going to be some new emails going out this week, so you're going to want to join those lists.
All right. And what do they get in those emails, LA? Like
all kinds of news and alpha, and we're working right now. AJ's away this week, but we have been working. We'll continue when he gets back on creating some content with Bull and AJ that's specifically only for email subscribers. So that kind of stuff has been starting to go out, and it will continue to go out as it's continuing to be made. But there's lots of news and stuff that gets sent out, but only important stuff. No one's getting spammed or anything, only when it's important.
And in another really important thing is that take advantage of the Academy. I always tend to forget talking, to speak on that, but the Academy, is probably the best educational tool in DeFi that the 99% of platforms aren't using. We're the innovators. We started that, and Captain Kirk, he's in the process of upgrading that, and I believe there's a lot of people on this call actually that will be contributing to certain sections of videos in the new Academy. So that's being upgraded. The Detonator was just upgraded. The UI was just upgraded. What else? What else has been upgraded around here that I'm forgetting?
I think you covered it.
Everybody's knowledge is getting upgraded. Every minute you spend here, every hour you spend here, you are compounding that knowledge, building that foundation so that you can make better decisions in crypto in the future. And I know I say this often, and because you're here right now, you are a very select few people in the world that are in DeFi, on the cutting edge of DeFi. So take advantage of everything that there is to learn here, because if you love crypto, but maybe you don't have the bags to bring in here to maybe quit your day job, so to speak. If you spend the time here taking advantage of all of the great tools, educational tools, it's going to put you on the right path so that you're going to have that opportunity to port that knowledge outside, build that LinkedIn resume, so to speak, and it's crypto related. Everybody knows that regulation is being worked on for the space. That means that institutional money is coming in here, and they're going to need people that know how this space works. So you don't have to go to college to have a good career, a good life, etc. If you do, that's great. I have 2 degrees. I love college. I think it's a great experience, but it's not for everybody, and that's cool. But here, this is a world-class free education that you're never going to be graded on, but you're graded really on how your portfolio performs, but with that ability to absorb knowledge and port that to the outside, with the realization that if you make a true investment here in yourself, I wouldn't be surprised to see you get upgrading your job in the physical world to something crypto related, because you're going to go into an interview and people are going to be blown away at the enthusiasm, what how the space operates, all the red flags, etc. But you don't learn that on the charts. You only learn that in the community, in the telegrams, in the discords, on YouTube, by meeting people, talking to people, and upgrading your knowledge. So no BS. Invest in yourself, because this is the greatest vehicle in the world to change your life, as quickly as really as you want, based on what you invest in yourself.
Bull
Awesome, Bo.
Gates.
Yeah, Jesse,
Gates,
what's
Bull
up, bro?
Gates. What's going on, brother, man? And listen, man, and shout out to you, man, because I've had a lot of time, man, fucking doing this road work. So I go back and I listen to a lot of the old AMAs, man, and you've done massive upgrading yourself. So shout out to you, because you
thank you,
definitely
bro.
are a major puller. Yeah, because I listening back to back like that, I see huge growth, man, and community AMAs, man, are starting to be really a beacon too. So
For
shout
sure.
out to you, and shout out and to everybody here. LA Joe, I love everybody here.
Thanks, Jesse. You be safe out on the road, bro.
You already.
All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to close the stream and then close the Telegram stream as well. So wherever you're at, maybe take some time, step away from your computer, hang out with your family, friends, do some stuff by yourself, fly a kite, whatever. Doesn't matter. But it's good to unplug, disconnect from the digital space a little bit. But really take that to heart, what I said, that you can port this knowledge to the real world. I am a real life example of that. So if I can do that, you can do that. So all you got to do is believe in yourself, take that first step, and then just start. Don't wait, do, and then just remember when are you going to take that time to invest in yourself and believe in yourself. But wherever you're at, have a good day, good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, Bo. Take care, everyone.
Yep. Later, bros and brosefinas.